Hello and greetings from Philadelphia. We have a very special guest with us today to talk about this news after news after news on Salt Lake City. They can't even drop the trailer without trying to steal the shine from the other ladies. But how difficult is it to steal the shine from Housewives of Orange County? Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Giorgio says,
Oh,
I got to meet him at BravoCon and you were fabulous.
yeah, so were you. I was so glad to run into you, quite literally. I think we were just passing each other by and you stopped me. So I'm so glad you did. I'm so glad you invited me on because I love your recaps on YouTube. They're phenomenal. I mean, I told you this in person, but anyway, so I'm excited to be here. It's Thursday, it's 9,000 degrees outside, but I have AC and we're talking about real stuff. So
Now, how is it that you have AC at your place, but Erin didn't have heat at her home in the Hamptons, but wants to talk about someone's private island?
well, that's a interesting. I don't know about you, but I find this whole trailer to be a very interesting situation because we have a woman who has an island that apparently looks like shit and has like all types of infestations. And then we're touching on Carol being named in those e-files. So I'm like, what are we doing? What are you guys? Because I'm gonna be honest, I had heard that Cy asked Carol about this, but in my mind, I was like, they're not gonna air this because they don't want it to be all about that or drag this reboot down, which they've been working so hard to keep. So I'm interested to see how that plays out. Obviously, it's enough. Carol got upgraded to a full time. She was only supposed to be a friend of, but she is front and center. Um, and I'm indifferent to her.
Oh, I have to I love in the trailer that they said she won the Steven Tyler lookalike contest because that I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense now. That because like ever see somebody and you're like, you remind me of somebody, I just can't put my finger on it.
But she just recently started looking like Steven Tyler. No, I don't mean that shady, you guys. I mean, like, I'm just being honest. She looks different. I know she's had some tweaks and things done, but she does really look like that could be his sister.
She looked like that folks she kind of gave that folk singer, God, what is her name? Carly Simon. She was
Yes.
giving Carly Simon before, and now she's gone from folk singer to rocker.
Yes, she totally needs an electric guitar. And yeah, I don't know. I'm invested only because the trailer did look good. I was not expecting it to be good, I'll be honest with you. But we have Martha Stewart in it, which can't go wrong. And we have some good people. I mean, Haley is did you know who Haley was?
Is
Do
she
you,
the one that owns Rumble or co-founded Rumble?
I don't know about that, but I know she was the first official girlfriend to John Gosselin after he left his wife.
Oh, that
And
one.
we're gonna peel it a page back. Her father did Kate's tummy tuck. So this whole thing is going to be what she's really going to be fun to watch. I think so. I don't know how many people know that about her, but she does have a little connection to that world of TLC.
Okay.
So
So she's been at really reality since the inception because that was like one of the first, like other than Real World, one of the first major reality shows that was still on tabloids when we had tabloids before
that's
everyone had their own Instagram.
I think at that time, gosh, I'm aging myself, but I feel like that time we had to wait for the Us Weekly to come out to know what the updates were. We didn't have all this yet. So I don't know if she was actually on the show or if she was brought up in conversation on the show, but she was definitely in the media because she was very publicized during that time. So I think it'll be great. I think Daisy's great. I don't know too much about Erica other than she clearly has an island for whatever reason, and I think she's a billionaire, is what I heard.
Okay, she's the one that co-founded Rumble. She's worth $100 million on her own.
Then that's what it is. It's her. That
It's not like that's what I want to see though. Like I lived in New York for many years. I want to see people that when you open the elevator, it opens to their two-floor apartment. I want to see the secret wealth of New York City. The people that lived in Sutton Place. I want real life Karen Walkers.
No, I agree with you. And I also lived in New York for years and I miss it dearly. But I mean, yeah, no, if you don't have an elevator that opens up to like something that I can't afford in New York City, I don't want to see your little shitty efficiency apartment that you decorated nicely. I mean, it's nice, don't get me wrong, but I think for this level, it's like the excitement is, wow, you have all this money and you're fucking crazy.
Yes. Yes. I mean, I need you to have a full townhouse, but be able to renovate it every year. Not a Sonia Morgan townhouse that's an albatross.
No, just for fun. Just be like, I'm gonna redecorate everything. We're getting rid of everything. We're starting from scratch, and that's the challenge. I don't know. I think we're obviously gonna get some Martha Stewart splashed in there. I don't know how much, but I did know that she filmed quite a bit because Daisy and her are very close. I met Daisy when I lived in New York, and she's a firecracker. She is hilarious. Like,
Oh.
I am very excited to see how she. I mean, from the trailer, she looks like she's got it, but it's going to be good. And I don't know. They turned it up. Psy, I saw her veins in her forehead towards the end of the trailer. I was like, oh, Psy is ready to work. She's getting a divorce. She's like, I've got to get this figured out.
Nothing will put you to work like having your income halved, because I hear she's a blogger and does like high fashion. Like, I'm not saying she's not successful, but I do feel like her husband is the reason that they're living the life that they're living. And so now it's like you need this reboot to work. Also, I could say, like, I see that fire in the belly with her where she's like, no, I'm gonna be a housewife of New York. And it's like, well, let's see if it sticks this time, because I am so glad that at BravoCon, that drunk guy called Andy out for saying, why do you keep saying Housewives of New York is good when it's clearly not?
Well, he doesn't like to hear that, just like he doesn't like to hear. I mean, I don't think anybody that creates something wants to hear negative things about it, but at the end of the day, the viewers are what make these shows, and I think if you're not listening to them and you're doing the opposite every season, when someone says, and I'm not saying this for people because there's going to be someone every show, they're like, I want this person off the show. They need to be fired. They need to be, I'm not down for that. But if you're not bringing anything to the show and you're floating Giselle, because here's the thing with Giselle is a producer's pet. Now, me being near Potomac, I know this production company thrives off producers' pets, meaning, oh, Giselle, you don't want to share what's going on in your life, then you need to work for us. You're going to have to go out there and do all the heavy lifting because you're not sharing. So, there's always those people that seem to float by, but they are producers' best cast mate, in the sense of you have a producer on the cast, essentially. Kind of like how Kyle was kind of deemed the ghost producer. She's kind of the one that started that show. She gets it. She understands the makings of it. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's interesting when we get to these points. But I think New York, I think those three, Jessel, Aaron, Psy, they figured it out. They figured out what to do. They understood quickly. Okay, we've got to make shit happen every time we're in this room together, and it can't be stupid. So how do we do that? Okay, they had a break. They got rid of some of the dead weight. I do wish Uba came back. I'm
okay with her.
You're okay with her being gone? Did you feel like she didn't want to share?
She didn't. Exactly. I am tired of people coming on the show, especially like when it's a show where you talk about other people. It's called Housewives. So you talk about people's relationships. Like Giselle, you're not going to share your relationship, therefore you can't try to ruin other women's marriages. Like that shit with Chris, to me, was completely out of line.
Well, I think this is my thing, and Giselle peeps, don't come after me, but from what I understand from the lay of the land around here, it's not so much as she doesn't want to share them. They don't want to claim her. So, there is the conundrum, right? Because obviously she does go on. I've heard, I've seen, but those men are not going to jump in on that type of show. They're just not. So they're not going to, when the cameras go up, they disappear. because they don't want to be anywhere near it. So the issue is for her, unfortunately. And listen, she is stunning. She's gorgeous. She can't dress, but she's gorgeous.
I was about to say, when I met her at BravoCon 2023, she was wearing a fancy toilet brush.
I don't know where I don't think she has a stylist.
No,
I can't imagine. Well, maybe she does. Listen, not to shit on the DMV, but there's a lot of people here that say they're stylists, and God bless you, but like you're not. But I don't believe she does, because I also think she's very smart financially, which is why it's taken so long for her to finish renovating that house. And also, I don't know where she buys her furniture. Like, where do you find those pieces?
Garish.com.
Garish.com.
Garish. It's because the furniture is very garish. Also,
it's not a real website. Okay. Got it. I was about to type it in, Alexander. Okay. Got it. Let me just take the sip of my coffee. I would have been looking for that website.
I have seen her mirrored and bedazzled like stuff, and I know, like, I used to see furniture stores like that in Harlem. Yes. I saw furniture stores like that in Harlem where you could get like your entire bedroom set that was mirrored. Like, I've seen that, like shabby chic, but I figure if you built your dream home, you would want to buy furniture that would last. Like, you're now 10 seasons in, you've got a successful podcast. You could invest in some Ethan Allen and some nice pieces like Cynthia Bailey.
She does it right.
Like, she was smart with her money.
Yep.
She, dropped that albatross Peter off at prison. She bought beautiful Lake Bailey, and her furniture, like, she spent some money on that place, and it looks nice, and you're not going to have to renovate it again. You're going to have to renovate that. I mean, the fact that you walked into a Home Depot and ordered that paint color and they made it for you. Cause sorry, they should have said, I'm sorry. What are you doing with this?
I always, this is why I like neutral walls. I like, unless it's a specific room and you're doing something very specific. To me, she's somebody that's like, oh, I love this and I love this and I love this, and I don't care if it fucking goes together as a story. We're doing it. Put it all in the cart. It's dazzling. It's sequined. It's crystal. It's mirror. I'm taking it. But other than that, I mean, listen, she has a G-Wagon. So she's spending a good $3,000 a month on that lease. So why not go and take your time? Like, I'm very much an advocate that you should like take your time with furniture if you're like investing in your home, because you may change your mind. Like, for me, I'm indecisive. So like, I could never just go in and do what she did after or in the middle of her renovation, which the renovated part of her house doesn't match the original part of her house. So when you drive by it, it's a little like, it looks nice. Not shitting on her house, but it just, there's no thought. That's what I mean. There's no thought behind the outfit or the furniture or the paint color, and she's not that great either in person. So like,
Chris and I got to meet her at BravoCon. They like brought us in to one of those rooms, and they had us like kind of talking crap about her, and then they brought her in like it was going to be a gotcha moment. And they didn't, this never showed because they were going to get like footage for like the promotion. And so she walked in and they thought like we were going to backpedal, and no, they don't know who we are. And so we were like, well, we think that you're, not the nicest person on the show because, for example, I do real estate. You ruined Rob's open house, season 5, episode 3, last scene. Like, we were citing our sources where it's like, you did this on the show, and that's why we feel this way about you. We're like, I'm sure, this show is only 41 minutes of your life. So we're not saying that you're a terrible person, but I know I would be hurt if he showed up and ruined my open house.
Yeah, but I think that's her intent. She knows
never
that.
Really, like, there wasn't anything to come back from, because it was like, we're not insulting you. We're just listing things you did on television.
For
And
some
they never aired
reason,
it.
whenever I've seen her, I've never seen her be. She to me in person seems very insecure. So as Gore, and this is the tale as old as time, and I'm not the most secure person, so don't like come at me because I am a very much sometimes a fake confident person. But when I say insecurity, it's like she's the type of insecure that would be uncomfortable in a social situation and be rude rather than just kind of remove, like sometimes for me, if I'm in a social situation, I feel not so confident or I feel insecure about the conversation. I remove myself because I'm like, well, I'm not going to get into any type of good banter here. She will kind of be dismissive and like when, for a good example, and this is not to shit talk Giselle, but when we were flying out to BravoCon, we obviously have the same flight because there's only one direct flight, one in the early hours of the morning, like 6:30, or like noon, which I think Karen ended up taking because she came in later. But we all took the 6:30, and it was Giselle and Tia on that flight. Anyways, there was a couple women. Nobody was crazy. No one around here gets frantic when they see like housewives. There was a couple women that were standing behind her. They were about to board. The lady just said, "I love you" on the show. And she looked back at her over her shoulder, like as if like Jayla, like,
Oh,
thank you. Like that, thank you. And then kept not even a like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Are you going to BravoCon? No. And then so of course you pass her when you get on the plane because she's like the first seat and she has her laptop on, she's ready to go. And it's just like she just comes off insecure. And I even saw her at the Four Seasons bar a couple times when we were down there some of the nights, and she was looking for people, and so she didn't see anyone that she wanted to engage with, so she just looked like not approachable, and people knew not to go speak to her because she just had that face like don't come up to me.
uh, I I don't know how you have that attitude with those necks. I don't know how you do it. If I had issues with my iodine and goiters, because I remember Kimura used to have one of them goiters, but she got rid of it. But if I had a goiter, I'd be nice to everybody because I'd be like, I don't know what I did to cause this, but maybe it's my attitude. Sometimes it's your attitude. Maybe that's what it is. She's got all that attitude in her neck, and so she's just uncomfortable. When I can count the rings on your neck and get your age, I'm going to speak on it like Candy Burris.
Oh.
I sure am. I sure am.
Oh my gosh, all I can hear is Candace in my ear. All I hear. Do you know that Candace lives here? She like I talked to Chris a couple weeks ago. But for some reason, I need to address this with Candace when I do see her. I need to know why I don't think she doesn't like me, but there's something about she doesn't either trust me or she thinks that I don't know. It's very strange. We have a very strange dynamic. I like her music. We engage online, but I miss her on the show, I have to say. I miss that fiery. I fucking love Candace. Like she gets it because she's a performer, right? But she's also a pageant girl and she knows how to turn it on and turn it off. And I hate that the relationship between production and Candace got to such a bad place that it's turned her off from even maybe thinking of coming back. I'm not saying she does, but it would almost be like they would have to switch production companies for her to reassess the opportunity. And I selfishly want her back because I know she's great TV.
I want her back also. I believe they should switch production companies. I think what they did to Chris was foul. Like for them to allow Giselle to act like that man was trying to be untoward with her in any shape, form, or fashion, trying to ruin his reputation for a plot line. That's when I'm like, no, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see people like I want to see you two spar over shoes, over ashy ankles, over toilet brush tops. I want to see y'all fight over insignificant things. But Giselle, the fact that you don't have a man that will claim you, and like Stacey Rush said, you've never been deeply loved. The man that you married and bore 3 children for cheated on you before, during, and after your marriage. I'd be worrying about that. You need to call Iyanla, fix my love life before you come after anybody else's marriage.
Listen, I mean, this is the thing. It's projection, right? Whenever someone is projecting that much, and I hate to say this, guys, because I feel bad, but look what's going on in Salt Lake City. Right? Meredith and Lisa, first of all, Meredith and Lisa yesterday, you guys, I love you both. You being messy boots with your posts. Did you see what Lisa posted?
No.
She posted a photo hugged up with her man and the Vita bottle. And then Meredith said, you know, it's ironic when people project things. It was very like pointed, but you know, it's messy. This season's going to be an utter disaster in the best possible way. But it just gets to a point where you're like, oh my gosh, the projection is projecting so badly. What's really going on, girl? Because it's like, why are you so concerned? Like, I get if you have an opinion or you have to say something because that's part of the show. But the lengths that she went to try to paint Chris like a predator was disgusting to me, number one. Number two, the things that were going on outside of the show, and I'm not going to say, I'll say allegedly, but I dug into this and I was the only one, no thanks to Tasha K, who started that whole mess by bringing this psychotic, I'll say, mistress that claimed she and Chris were doing it and doing it and doing it wild. And she went on Tasha K and spilled all the tea. And I said, that's a bit ballsy and bold in the DMV. Did we learn nothing from Juan Dixon when I exposed his mistress? No? Okay, so let me go dig into this, because surely we can't have this many stupid men that are on reality television in a very small cluster where everybody will see what's going on. So I sat on the phone with this mistress for 4 hours talking in circles, but I knew what I was doing. I was talking in circles. I was asking the same questions in 5 different ways, and she would give me an answer differently every single time. Then I got her comfortable enough to start sharing photos, because I said, because she said, I have proof. I have receipts. I have photos of us doing it. I have photos of us touching. I have pictures of his you know what. And so she sent me all this NSFW stuff that I had and it wasn't, the long story short, guys, whoever that man was, you probably have a case against this woman, because she was sending out all your nudes, like cheeks, all the like I knew what his whole thing looked like. But there was one attribute on this man, because again, you can never see his face. He was a bald white man. So from a distance, you're like, oh, that could be Chris. That's messed up if it's true. There was a tattoo on this guy's arm. And I said, does Chris have tattoos? Where am I going to find a shirtless picture of Chris? So I'm looking and looking and looking. Now I'm feeling like a pervert, because I'm looking for, I'm typing in shirtless Chris, you know, and then Google's like, what is going on? So finally, I'm like, let me just go back. I think there was a pool party of some sort when they first came on the show. So I went back. I went to the scene, and he had his shirt off. It thankfully showed both angles. I took snapshots. And then because it was an older season, I DM'd him and I said, hi, has anything changed since the scene? Did you get a tattoo? Does it mean anything about your daughter? And he says, no, I've never had a tattoo in my entire life. So I basically cleared that up. But that was something they were baking on the outside while they were producing this whole Predator storyline on the show. They were really trying to take her down, like on all angles. It was sick. And I'm not saying it was Giselle, but I mean,
who else would it be?
I mean, honestly, it could have been, it was definitely, in my mind, a Giselle and Robin kind of helping each other situation. But if not, it was Giselle for sure, because she's the one that came up with the whole hotel room. He closed the door and like made it seem like he was going to do something that I don't know. It left a bad taste in my mouth after that with her, that it's like, oh, you're very dangerous.
Yes. Yeah, that is dangerous. That is dastardly. And I was like, he seems like a nice guy. He seems like he's genuinely in love with Candace. Why do you want to ruin their marriage? And also, these shows need husbands. Like the best seasons of Atlanta were when we had Penelope Thomas Bailey, when we had Paulo the Felonita, when we had Greg Leaks. Like we need
Tell him, Greg.
And Todd, like the shows are great when we have husbands that legitimately care, that don't mind being on camera, that, can be a part of it, that can also like calm the wives down, that, show they're supporting them. Like we need that. It's called Housewives. We need that angle. And it's like, why are you trying to have her as miserable and alone as you?
The thing is, too, with these married couples, they need to learn, and I should probably hold a master class, because what they need to understand is if you don't come up with a problem between the both of yous, the producers and everyone else will. So my advice, as someone who's never been on any of these fucking shows, but has watched them from the inception, in my mind, the strategy should be you need to come in with a marital problem, either that you have gone through already and worked through, that you don't mind reliving, kind of like therapy, okay? Or you make the shit up. Because
That's a good idea.
if you're in control of that narrative, so whatever anyone says about it, you can be like, okay, yeah, we already, you know what I mean? When it's made up for you and then thrown at you the way that these types of situations happen, it spins out of control. And then that is part of the demise of how trust between the relationships, I feel, goes down.
You literally just articulated Rula and Brian's storyline. Because, like, if Rula had just said, I let him cheat in peace. If she had just, because you are, Ma, you are. And it's like, it is 2026. Don't nobody care no more. We got Doxypep, we got Prep, we got all the medications. Say he got a vasectomy so he ain't gonna get nobody pregnant. Just like you could have saved yourself the heartache, the misery, and the strife. And Joellen, although Joellen is playing a dangerous game. One, you need to be worried about your sister. You need to be worried about your sister. Your mother didn't love you, and I think that's rubbed off on your sister, and that's why she's sleeping with your husband.
Oh. Because why do you know what his underwear tastes like?
And who makes that kind of a joke?
That is what, I'm sorry. I know that there are different dynamics in every family. That is not, first of all, I'm not going to my sister's house while she's away and doing your laundry, but I'm definitely not going to tell you how it smells or taste. Like, it's just inappropriate. Also, he's holding your daughter, watching her aunt say, like, that just is a 1,000 reasons why I don't have children, because I'm too much of a helicopter person. I don't like the way you look. You're not coming around my child. I don't like the way you breathe. You're not coming around my child. Like, the child would never see the light of day if I had my way. It's not great. But she could have stopped Joellen right in the beginning if she would have took charge and said, yeah, he is a piece of shit. He is still probably talking to her. And don't worry, we're fucking dealing with it. Like, if she would have just came in and just owned it, nobody would have any ammunition. Then she could do whatever she needed to. And Joellen would just have to move on. But Joellen's going to learn this season how that goes. She's going to be up next. And that was... First of all, when they cut to, producers are very smart. Editors are very smart. At the end of the last part of the reunion, there's a part where Rula is venting to Rosie and to Ashley. And she's like, I don't understand how someone like that continues to get away with spewing lies and doing whatever. And Rosie said, don't worry, her turn is coming up next. Meaning they all know, oh, you wanted to come in all loud? That's okay. We can find out stuff about you too. And I know Joellen's playing a good poker face and she's like, nah, but Reddit's already been chatting about Joellen in her past and alleging things. So they're definitely going to throw her in the hot seat, and Rule is definitely going to come after her. That's for sure.
And honestly, it's sometimes it don't have to be today, it don't have to be tomorrow. It could be you could make it to season 5, and then it could be like with Angie K. The show has changed you. You started to smell your own ass, and when your husband leaves and starts seeing someone else, these girls, and there's probably going to be some new fresh-tailed hussy with your same energy that's going to be ready to twist the knife.
Oh, for sure. And they're probably looking for that because they see how Joellen, how far she'll go. I mean, listen, I love receipts, but like, girl, you literally drove to every police station in town. You talked to everybody. You came with notes about stuff that isn't, it's not receipts of you proving your truth. It's just you trying to expose things that maybe some people weren't willing to discuss at that point. You're taking her story from her, is my view. And I would be really pissed about that because you let her figure it out. That's part of watching this. You root for Rula. Like, part of me roots for Rula to wake up and be like, what are you doing? But I don't know their dynamic. I don't know if they both have an understanding and he's looking at her like, why are you yelling at me, bitch? You said it was okay.
I will say, because she gives the attitude of a woman that's like, I have to care in public, but I don't care in private. She does not give hurt. I did not like, I will say, I don't know why she went and bought a new face, because that you got the Cindy Lou Who special. Whoever did that, you need your money back, baby.
Maybe it needs to settle. Do noses need to settle?
I don't know. I don't know.
She didn't need to do all that. I will say she was gorgeous before.
She was.
And that's one thing I don't like about it. And I hate it, but I get it. I can already see when I'm seeing these videos and the pictures for season 2 filming, I'm like, you got glam. You got a style. Like, you didn't look like that. Like, you know what I mean? So they watch themselves and like, oh shit, I can't wear that. Or I can't do this. But it's like, I kind of like, yes, you have money. I don't want a poor housewife, but like, I don't need you decked out in like Galliano and Valentino every scene either. Like, it needs to kind of match the scene or the like. Rhode Island isn't that type of state. Like, people are not getting dressed up. I mean, yes, I'm sure they do for events, but like, not every scene is an event in the sense of like, don't come decked out. You look crazy with like.
And Erica Jane started that, but that's Beverly Hills. That's that Los Angeles movie star culture where it's a little more plausible.
Well, you can get away with it because they're like, well, who's that? But also, Erica was a performer, so it made sense, right? Because she was already getting glam. She was already dropping that kind of money just to get up and walk around that estate. So I think for her, she set the bar higher. And then everyone followed suit, obviously. And sometimes they follow suit. And it's like, girl, you don't need to do that here. We're in Rhode Island. It's okay. Or like Potomac. It's like, girl, you don't need to wear that here.
And also it's like there's definitely like a northeastern aesthetic that I feel like Rhode Island, like you lean into like the Ralph Lauren sweaters, the high-end J. Crew, like your Ralph Lauren, Banana Republic, like that's what they wear up there. Like y'all are much more conservative. It's like you're like Galliano, you're right. Like that's not what you would wear. That's not what anybody really is wearing there.
No. And I also think just because there is a small percentage of wealth in Rhode Island that, yes, obviously, like they run in different circles and they do different things. But the biggest feedback was a lot of the people felt like it's not a true representation of Rhode Island. But if I'm being honest, Real Housewives of Potomac is not a real representation of Potomac, Maryland, because the only one that lives in Potomac is Karen. Okay, Bethesda, Baltimore, Carroll County, Osefos, like hour and 20 minutes away from Potomac. Like, you are in the sticks. And speaking of which, they clearly don't care about trials and such. They were just at some concert.
And apparently they took a Rolls Royce. They had a photographer. I can understand wanting to have your last hurrah before you are facing, in the teens of felony charges.
Sure.
Felonies. I could get wanting to have, fun with your kids on a ski trip because you may not get, when you get out, they might be grown. They might be
Yes.
grown.
Yes.
But why do you need to put it in front of our, and more importantly, a jury of your peers' face? This is a era of we want to eat the rich. Why are you putting yourself on a plate with a knife and fork next to you?
The
And you're not
problem,
even rich.
no, they're not, and that's okay. The problem, though, I mean, they should be. They live out in bumfuck Carroll County. The problem where they live, that county is like the demographic is 97.9% white, like white. So when you have them living in a predominantly white neighborhood, the whole police station is white, the grandfathers have grandfathered their sons and their sons to be police, you are asking for it in so many ways. You called the police over to investigate an alleged burglary that they felt didn't add up from what they saw. So they came back, they investigated everything more thoroughly. They came back, and you guys are still kind of doing this back and forth where you're not like being honest. And I think they risked it literally all for an appearance, to look like we've got this. Happy Eddie did not do $20 million in its first year. I can promise you that. And as someone who consumes those products a lot, the places I frequent that sell it, I have asked them multiple times, hey, is this a big seller here? They're like, what? Oh, I don't know. No one's really talked about it. Yes, we do pop-ups. They do pop-ups all the time. But it's not $20 million. You only make that kind of money in that industry when you own the plant, when you are Liz McGraw. You understand? You're not making money owning a shop and putting your little joint in a box and being like, yeah, $20 million. No, first of all, you'd have to sell a lot of pre-rolls to get to that and be in every single store that sells it. And that's just not realistic. But also, you risk losing your, like, you're not going to be an attorney anymore.
Yeah.
Eddie, like, what is all of that to show everyone that you have a little bit of coin is not worth it to me.
Honestly, what they should have done is what Kelly, what Angela did the foreclosures while she was on the show, but what Kelly and Pinky have done, use your bankruptcy as a story.
Pinky's gonna need to
rise like a phoenix from the ashes.
I do enjoy Pinky on Atlanta. I enjoy her sharing her story. I appreciate it, but she's got to get that shit together. She gets a lot of call outs for her restaurants. Like just in Baltimore a couple weeks ago, there was a notice about stuff. There's stuff going on, and I want her to win. I do. But there's just something, it feels like with Pinky, if you sat her down and said, this is what you should do, or this is how you should look at this, she would take it in and then go do something else. She's one of those people that's like, she's very strong-willed, and that's a good thing to some extent. But in this situation, like this last episode, was it this last episode? I think it was, where she was like crying because it was like, I woke up and it's like, I got to pay $50,000. And it's like, yeah, my love, but you have how many locations and how, like, this is a big thing. So yes, that probably is stressful, but also it just feels like she's not being realistic. But neither is Kelly. Let's be honest. Is there even a Jarvis, or is it Shamia? Shamia, are you cutting Kelly checks, putting her on boats and shit because you need a friend?
I mean, hey, at least Shamia is doing something with her money. That's what I want to see.
You mean with her
house? And Kelly should have stayed living in her house. That would have been another plot line.
I don't know why. Well, listen, I love Kelly, but this season, I don't know what is going on. The thing that really bothers me is she looks a mess. Like whatever she's going through, and I mean this not in the way it sounds terrible. She looks like how her life is. And it's not her fault. It's whoever is letting her sit in these confessional chairs looking a mess. What is this black latex thing that has all the handprints and spilled lotion? And they said, all right, go out there and sit. No, none of you guys saw the like the receiver and said, hold on a second, let's get some Windex and wipe that bitch down. Like, let's get it squeaky clean. Like, no, they're like, just send her out. She's good.
I think like, how do you not look at production and see that sly smile as they press record on the camera and be like, wait, hold on, you look too happy, I gotta fix this? How do you not see that?
Well, because it's the line of questioning that they'll turn. So they start off great. They do one of these, and before you know it, they hit you with a question you weren't expecting, and you're like, excuse the fuck out of me? You know? And so it's just, I don't think she has a stylist this season either. But you don't have a gay friend. You don't have anybody. Like, I would have come down there and did it for free. Bitch, get up. No, turn the camera off. You have handprints and why? Like, did you dress yourself and come in to do your interviews? That's fine, by the way. I'm not saying, but they offer makeup and hair. So just get one of your gay friends to come put the shit on and wipe you down with some gloves.
Yeah, you should have somebody that's at least going to help you, button up your blouse.
Something. They're throwing her a white t-shirt and like, get in there. Like, that a white t-shirt with a brown little belt. Like, what are you doing?
She looked like somebody that just came out of a natural disaster.
Absolutely. And it's just like, she literally had a t-shirt thrown at her. She ran into Macy's, got a quick little eye beat, and was like, all right, I got to go do my interviews. Bye. Thank you so much. And bought a lipstick and kept it moving. And, it's like no one gave a shit. No, you guys aren't her friends. Because I would never let my friend sit in a chair, look at, and even for the producer, like, you guys don't see how that's going to play into this whole season. Maybe that's why you did it.
They love it.
Oh, like 100%, 100%.
They like those producers are really something special. I knew one of the producers from Black Ink Crew. And
oh boy.
And the stories he would tell me, I don't think he's a producer anymore, but the stories he would tell me, and like he would also like give me tea to just be like, he'd say, don't tell them, don't tell them, like, don't say I told you, but put this out there.
Yeah. No, we love a good producer in our ear. For sure, but they can be very messy because that's the only way they can get what they need without over manipulating stuff. But I do feel bad for Kelly, and I just want her to figure this stuff out. Like, I don't even care. Like, I feel like she should close down the restaurants for a second, regroup, and kind of, okay, where do I live? How am I going to make my money? Like, whatever. And then go back into like reestablishing a brick and mortar, because in 2026 to have a brick and mortar, let alone a restaurant, that's a big responsibility and financial kind of gamble, because people don't spend like they used to, and they're not frequenting places like that as they used to. So it's like, it's already harder enough. It's hard enough to have a brick and mortar as it is. But for her and her situation, she's so underwater. I just don't see how that's adding anything to like give her clarity on where she's moving forward. But aside from Kelly, what is your thoughts on the Shamia and Portia situation? I think I saw you post something about Portia's behaviors, which I'm not disagreeing with you, by the way, because she's not innocent.
Yes, Portia, like, I will never forget when she picked up that boom mic and tried to hit her daughter's grandmother in the head with it. Like, you want to talk about respecting mothers, you tried to take Dennis's mother out of this world. Like, had that producer turned porn star not stopped you, shout out to Patrick, not stopped you, you could be really sitting in jail right now, because you would have hurt that woman. I feel also you brought up Shamia's mother last year with the whole who bought the daycare out from under each other. Like you brought the mother into this. So then Shamia said, okay, bet. But Shamia, you can't go like one. Portia is, I'm not going to say bigger than the program, but Portia is the program right now. To come at her when, like, one, you seem to want the friendship back more than anything. Why you would want to be friendship with a woman who can't even keep her marriages together, I don't know. I don't know why you'd want to be friends with that because she clearly only gets married for financial benefit. So you have to realize she's your friend for financial benefit. She was only your friend because she thought, well, if this housewives things don't work out, I need to be in her circle so I can meet men that make the kind of money her husband makes.
1000%. But the problem that I have with Shamia this season, I've been saying it all season, and I know I don't talk too much about Portia because in my mind, I already know how Portia is. Like, Portia is not innocent. She's messy as hell, but I also understand the difference is Portia is a very seasoned housewife and knows exactly how to play this game. Shamia is still very green and she's taking the bait as it comes. And that is what's gotten her to this place. And I know a lot of people love Shamia. And listen, I love her too. I was very excited about her finally getting a peach because I was like, okay, we get to see her beautiful life. She gets to show her personality. But then halfway through her first season, I was like, oh, what are you doing? And then this season, I was like, oh, wow, you are really going to triple down and put yourself on an island because these girls are not going to go against Portia. Because if Portia's mad and doesn't want to show up to film, guess what? There's no fucking show.
Yeah.
This happens in OC. When Tamara left or when she quit last season, them girls are shitting bricks. What are we going to do? What do? We have no show without this firecracker. As much as everyone hates these characters, they're very essential. So,
well, although Kenya Moore thought she was essential,
she took it too far. That's the Aquarius. That's the Aquarius in her. I'm an Aquarius. I knew exactly why she did what she did and why it validated it for her. But we can be our worst enemies at times. I will say that. I love Kenya. I've had conversations with her a couple times. But the thing about Kenya is she's very stubborn. She doesn't listen. Where Aquarius people don't like to take advice. We like to figure things out on our own. But sometimes you got to get out of your own way. She messed up her own bag. And look, Britt Eady didn't even come back and she's divorced. Like, that's what I mean. When everyone was yelling at Kenya, it wasn't because they were mad so much that she was getting a lick back. Because I get it. This woman did threaten you with a gun in the parking lot. We all saw it. But you went to a level that nobody, right, is going to stand by. Because again, it's kind of like, oh, you couldn't have gotten anything else. Like, you couldn't have just like, you know what I mean? You couldn't have brought it up at a dinner. You had to bring poster boards in from FedEx. Like, you spent money on this shit. Like, also producers, you saw these boards. Were you guys not like, hey, what are you doing with these?
And that's why she's suing Bravo and not Kenya. But she got 2 for 1 because she took Kenya down. She took Kenya off the show. And also, she I don't even think Britt knew how many checks she was fucking up with Kenya's. Because now Kenya can't go on Traders. Kenya can't do Ultimate Girls Trip, which erases you from Housewives history. They even brought Nene back. And I firmly believe Andy Cohen would have been fine never seeing or interacting or having that heifer on the network for the rest of his days. But I do think because it would have looked, or people would have cried Black erasure, he was like, okay, all right, let's just go on and give Nene for a couple of minutes. So that way, look, like Samantha, here you go.
Yep.
Here you go. Here you go. Here she is. I don't want to hear shit else. Here she is.
I think at the end of the day, when you look back, Nene was the first person to throw that stone in the pond, and she took a beating for it. Let's be completely honest. But now everyone seems to be very comfortable to call their lawyer and be like, I'm going to get them, I'm going to sue them for $300 million for like 2 episodes that made me look like shit. It's like, okay, well, you're not going to get $300 million, but what you are going to do is make it so that these types of situations and lawsuits look so stupid. No one's going to take them seriously anymore because they're not always valid. I don't believe Britt Eady was the victim of sexual harassment or any of those things. I think you go on a reality show. This is not corporate America. Yes, there's there is rules and structures and HR policies, but it's still a reality show. So what did you like?
You got hired to throw dirt and get dirt thrown at
Yeah,
you.
and you should have done your due diligence to watch the show, which she did. If you watch, you know what the show's about. So it always perplexes me when there's someone who's a sore loser who then has to call their lawyer to get a lick back, when all it's doing is you're wasting more of your money. Because NBC Universal, they're going to do whatever they can to stall, and all that's going to do is make you have to spend more money.
Yep. Leah McSweeney.
Which apparently hers is the Leah McSweeney one is the only one that I know of that's kind of making its way forward. But other than that, listen, I lost all respect for Caroline Manzo with the situation with her sister and what happened there. I can't get with that. I don't understand it. I wish her well and her family, but I don't need to see her back on my TV either.
I do hope. Well, I feel like Shamia is pretty much like, you signed your death warrant or your fired warrant when you came at Portia with that, and Portia was so calm, cool, collected, and ready. She said, "I brought that to my mother," and I was like, "Oh dear, oh dear." And it's like, you have to have something else. You had to have something else. And also, it should have been about Portia. Like, why not talk about her stealing that man? Like we've never really addressed that, because you stole that man and then ran off the show. We're married to him for 15 minutes. Your poor daughter confused. She don't know who her father is. I mean, talk about that. Talk about that. Go after Portia. But to do that with the mamas, I feel like also the other girls will be like, well, I don't want you talking about mine.
But why are we talking about mother? Like, this is so juvenile, no? Like, are we in elementary school? You need to bring up drama between two moms that are not on the show? Like, what are you going to do here? Like, what's going on? There's surely something else you know about Portia that you could have exposed that would have just been about her. But now you open the floodgates, because then see, Portia then responds, because she knows shit about you too, and you don't like that. See, you opened up a whole Pandora's box, and you can't go back from that.
No.
And you've involved everyone, which is also uncomfortable. Like, I wouldn't have felt comfortable sitting there watching someone go at it with another person, and all they're doing is calling each other's mom out, and you try to sleep with my mom's husband, and your mom tries to sleep with your what?
It's like these women have gone through menopause by this point. Why are we bringing it up?
Like, how long ago was this? You guys haven't worked through it yet?
Like, and also, if, like, why are you two friends if y'all's mamas was double crossing each other like that?
I don't think they were really friends. I think they were friends because it made sense and they had history. But when push comes to shove, you always see who the person really is in certain situations. And this is one of those certain situations. Shamia really wants this. She wants to be famous. Tale as old as time. Someone has all the money in the world, essentially, can do whatever they want. But the one thing they want is the thing that they can't buy. And she's willing to throw a friendship, a sisterhood, really, out the window. And that's I don't know what your end goal is here, because again, you put yourself on an island. You've got Cynthia and Phaedra questioning you.
That's not good.
That's not good. And you know, Cynthia, I love Cynthia. She's on team everyone for the most part, but she's even looking at Shamia like, what? That is not what you said, girl.
So
come fix this mess.
Let's talk about the divorces of it all.
Oh my gosh.
So we have had this blockbuster week. First, Angie and Sean. And I mean, when they said, oh, our daughter sleeps with us every night, I looked at my watch and I was like, so about 15 minutes till a divorce or 20? Let me know what to put in the microwave. And that's what it gave.
I'm not saying that this is why, but I have known a lot of women in situations in their marriages that a good excuse always to not get your husband to try to sleep with you is to lean on the child and be like, oh, she has to sleep with us because of he has to sleep with us because he's got nightmares. And so, like, when that's the dynamic, after a while, the husband's going to give up.
He's gonna be like, oh, I see what's going on here, and I am a firm believer in if you like with Kyle and Amanda, when we found out they weren't having sex and hadn't really had sex throughout their marriage, you realize if you're not sleeping with him, if you're not sleeping with her, they're going to sleep with other people. The fact that that dog was so comfortable with Wes in that house, she had him up and through there. I believe this was going on. I believe that there have been others for both of them. She
For
wants to
sure.
cry, oh, you had an affair. Girl, you did too. You just weren't caught.
But my thing is, if I don't want to sleep with you, how am I going to get mad that you went and slept with someone else?
That
So, like,
that is what it's like.
So then this is a waste of time.
It's like, why are we here? Why are we here? Like, okay, we can co-parent, but if you don't want me and I don't click, like, I'm going to eventually stop wanting you if you don't want me. Eventually that's going to fizzle out. So what are we doing? Let's move on before we significantly hurt each other. Let's stop it now.
Let me tell you something.
I'm in complete agreement. You can't get mad at your partner sleeping with somebody else when you ain't doing it.
No, because here's the thing. Like, I've been with my guy for 14 years. If I spent 8 years not being intimate with him because I didn't want to, but then he went off and did his own thing, and then I turned around, I was like, how dare you betray me? As if like, well, what do you care? You don't want it.
Exactly.
So why are you mad?
Getting mad over food you ain't eating.
Yes, it's like, I don't even like the pie, but I'm mad that you ate it.
Yes, exactly. It's like, well, you was letting it get freezer burnt. Somebody took it out and was like, hey, this is a good pie. I'd like a slice.
And she's not innocent. I do believe she was running. Listen, I think a lot came out about her in her ways through this last season. And I think you learn a lot about people when they're put to the test. And I think she's so insecure. I think she wants attention. And she just didn't want Kyle's attention, but she wanted to be on the show. So she chased Kyle around, got him to be with her. She was his groupie, season 1, season 2, then got herself planted on the show once she was comfortable and got the ring and the wedding. Fuck you. I'm not sleeping with you, you disgusting man. But you better not cheat on me.
And it's like, look, y'all had a show relationship. You had a showmance. It's very obvious. You were only together for the Bravo cameras, and that was it. Yeah. That was it. Like, honestly, Scandival. Like, Ariana, you lucked out and rode that till the wheels fall off. You did not want to marry that. The fact that y'all had a house together but weren't married together, y'all were investment roommates. You should not, I can get you being upset that Raquel, was your friend and pulled that. But Tom, girl, you didn't want that man. And also, y'all are both damn near 40 or 40. You knew he wasn't going to grow up. You knew what you got.
That's the other part to all this. They're not in their 20s.
Yes.
You know? So at some point, you got to get real with yourself and with the situation. And I do think it must be a challenge if you meet, a good example is Ariana and Tom Sandoval. They met on the show. They ended how they started. Let's call a spade a spade.
Mm-hmm.
However, I think Ariana would have never reached her full potential had she stayed with him because he was such a battery drain, and you could tell. And this is why I tell a lot of people when they say things like this, where they're not sleeping with their man or they're not even attracted to them in any sort of way. It's like, well, why are you with this person? Is it out of comfort? Is it out of you just don't want to be back out in the streets? Is it this is all you know? There's a various amount of reasons why someone would stay in that situation, but then you need to create separate rules for existing because it's not healthy when you force the other person to remain loyal to you, but for what? You're not giving them any intimacy. You're not giving them affection. You just want them to stand there and just be.
And you're being disloyal to them in a different way, but it's just as hurtful. You're
Correct.
wasting their life.
Correct. You are taking up all the time and space. And, you know, not that Kyle was an angel, but at some point you can't shit on the guy when she's been verbally saying over and over and over again, it's not happening, it's not happening, it's not happening, it's not happening. So how many times, what do you want him to do is my point. I'm not ever someone who advocates for cheating. Let's be crystal clear.
I do. I believe that man cheat in peace.
That only works. That only works if you got it like that. I will bring you donuts in bed with your mistress. If I can go and do whatever the fuck I want, I don't care. I'll look the other way. If we're both having to do this and then you go do some shit like that, no, I'm burning all of it down. Like, no, I'm not doing all this and you get to go do that. But if we had a conversation and you sat me down and said, hey, listen, I'm not getting any from you. It's been 7 years. So can we have a different arrangement? Can I go get some this weekend?
I still want to be your friend. I still like living here. Like we're have still a good partners together.
Yeah, we're partners.
We can be non-sexual life partners. We can be best friends that, you know, enjoy the benefit of marriage. I want you to be my emergency contact person. I like you, but this is like, I need to have romantic interests elsewhere.
And also
or break up.
Or that's what I was going to say. Or move on, because why are you together if you're not planning on growing as a couple? You're stunted where you were 7 years ago because you're still mad about something that happened before you got married, that you found out before you got married, by the way, but you still chose to marry him. So that's why I say I'm not sitting here looking at either one of them as straight up victims in the situation. Definitely not Amanda, but she killed her own bag. Ooh. Like, what a big dummy you are. You were on your way to being Ariana 2.0. Everyone was so sick and tired of Kyle and his shit. You were getting the Buffalo Wild Wings commercials. Then all of a sudden, you had to just... You went for the one guy. That's the guy? You're in New York City. You're Amanda. You literally are on this show. You need to tell me there's no other dude in New York City that wouldn't be like, hey, what's up? You know what I mean?
Well, she doesn't look very clean, so I think that definitely...
She's the girl, I'm going to tell you right now, she's the girl that has dirt under her fingernails and paints over them. That is who that is. And yes, I mean that with my chest. She is. I don't care. Dirty fingernails.
I am going to steal that read. That is a good read.
Do you know that when I worked for Mac long time ago, there would be girls like Amanda that would come to the counter, always chip nail polish, always. And you would see shit under their nails. Girl, you're nasty. You don't need to be buying a lipstick. You need to go get the crud under your nails, and don't paint your nails. Also, like, she doesn't seem like she's able to handle anything, this Amanda. Like, you confront her about something, she shuts down and she's just like...
And also, you got with Wes, which is like going back to the beginning with Kyle.
Like, that's all she knows.
That is the same man, different font. Not even different font, same font. You got a redhead instead of a blonde this time. And you made Kyle look good. You made Kyle the winner. Now everybody wants his skincare routine. Now everybody's drinking Loverboy because the way, like, the fact that, like, you had to hurt Sierra in the process, and everybody loves Sierra. Everybody's like, why would you do this to her? And now you've brought race into it. Like, you shit on yourself.
I can't speak for Sierra's positioning for obvious reasons, but just someone looking in, I've known people like Amanda who have friends like Sierra. They don't value you in the same level. You're not on their level in their mind, but they like you because you feel first of all, we watched Sierra pour into this woman all season long.
Yes. She was like, look, I'll help you get an apartment. I will help you leave him.
Okay.
If that's what you need.
That Like, I would have expected Amanda to turn lesbian and go after Sierra after that season, not go after Wes. Bitch, come eat this kitty. You're saying all the right things. Even if you're not, can we just do it? Because you are pouring into me more than any of these men. But you went after the guy you watched shit on your friend?
And also on where this man, like you say you want to get married, you want to have kids, you want to live in New Jersey. This man is the antithesis of providing that, but that's what got your twat to twitching.
Because that's all it's doing. It's just twitching. She's never going to get that from him. And also, you repeat your patterns when you don't take a step back. Like, if I was in a super abusive relationship and then I jumped from that relationship to the next man that said hello to me 2 days after that, guarantee you that man's going to be a piece of shit too. It always works out that way. You know why? Because people in general that have a narcissistic tendency, or they are manipulative, or they're just pieces of shit, they can spot a weakling a mile away. They can spot a broken wing from down the street, and they know how to do all the right things. They know how to say. The difference here is Amanda thinks she's in control. She thinks, I know how West is, but he's not doing that shit with me. But she can't say it like that. But I can tell by the way she responds, by when people bring up, oh, did you know that he was doing this with such and such? And she's like, yeah, no, I knew that. Because in her mind, she's like, I told him, you better not fucking embarrass me. You better not, you know what I mean? She thinks she's got a different experience. Exactly. And she doesn't.
It's like, y'all, like, the breakup will be before the holiday. He ain't buying you a Christmas gift. He ain't. He's going to get rid of you probably before Thanksgiving.
Well, now they're both not on Summer House. There's no reason to work for this. So he's going to get bored in like 5-7 seconds. And then he's going to be at every bar in West Village hitting on every girl. And we'll see about it and we'll hear about it. But you know, the thing for me is that, unfortunately, for the Amandas of the world and anybody that thinks, you know, because unfortunately I see people trying to reason with what she did. Like, oh, come on, they weren't even really together. It's like, it doesn't matter. If my best friend slept with a guy 5 years ago and that same guy approached me today, the answer would be fucking no.
It's too close. There are other men. It's
too close. That's just... For me, I can't do that. But I do know people that are fine with it. They're like, oh, yeah, it's fine. It's cool. How is it cool?
Now, honestly, I wouldn't care.
You wouldn't care?
Oh, God, no. I would say because I lived in San Francisco. The gay circle is
yes.
It's so small. There's no way where it's like, you just realize, oh, we're all going to at some point date somebody's ex. And as long, like, the San Francisco rule is, as long as it's been 18 months, you have to have been over it. Like, if you didn't, especially if you didn't live together, you have to have been over it.
No, that's fair. Because even in like the DMV, it's very incestuous, where it's like, obviously you're going to run in or date someone's ex from somebody's friend group at some point. I just feel like
they're heterosexual. There's no excuse. You've got plenty of fish in the sea.
There's so much at your fingertips, and you have you're in such a good spot. You're in the West Village. Like, all the good-looking dudes that have money hang out in that area where you are. So why are you fucking around with West? Like, you and Sierra could have been bopping up and down them streets in Manhattan and living your best life, cashing in on stuff together. But instead, you want to go to Italy and spit olives in this man's mouth. It's just disgusting.
Yeah, and meanwhile Sierra is now hosting Love Island and going on Dancing with the Stars.
See how quickly things can turn?
And Kyle is also DJ du jour, and he's got to get out of that damn loan.
Listen, first of all, big shout out to Kyle, because he put my song on the map a lot by playing it at his shows, and he helped out with the raffle here for the watch party. So as much as he's done some shitty things, he's a good guy. Like, I can say that he's got a good spirit about him, and I'm not saying Amanda doesn't, but she doesn't, because you don't do shit like that to your friends.
The fact that at least if he cheated, he didn't cheat with your friend.
Could you imagine if he did though? Could you imagine if we flipped this on the I've thought about this. What if we found out that I don't know, he started sleeping with Sierra and they were like, let's just flip it around. Let's say Kyle and Sierra were the ones that were like, all of a sudden now, do you know this man would be canceled? He would never work again. He would never do, and like, it would be diabolical. And Amanda would be like the queen of Bravo for like the next year.
It would be Tom Sandoval. That would truly be Tom Sandoval.
Because that's exactly what happened, except he's still popping up on my feed, unfortunately. And I'm not sure why.
Because Bravo fans love a toxic man. The fact that Wes Wilson gained followers during that proves that, like, also there are a lot of women that know, okay, he may not be for a long time, but he's a good time, and I'd have a weekend with him. I guarantee.
I mean, there's women and men included in that. He looks like one of them guys. You'd be drunk and look at your girlfriend. She's like, you a dumb bitch. And you smile and get in his car. And you're like, I'll call you tomorrow, girl.
We've all been there.
Multiple times. And so what I'm saying is that's not the guy you're not going to be loyal to this man, though. You don't take that man back to your mom's house. Come on.
Exactly. That's like, at most you go to a wedding with him. That is weekend dick. Weekend dick.
I guess it depends on whose wedding, because I don't know if
he's a plus one because he's cute and he's got charisma. He is a plus one you bring to a wedding when it's not serious, but maybe you have an ex at the wedding and you need to show up with somebody that can be the life of the party.
That is a good point. But that's it. That's where I would draw the line, though. Like, there's not these like escapades every day. Like, it's so weird that I almost feel like she's staying with him because she's so like, I don't want to look wrong. So she's trying to make it work. And I'm like, do you even want to be in this, girl? Like,
it's called a hell of your own making.
Well, then she's going to have to sit. I mean, she doesn't have to, though. She could just get up. She could have got up in the city reunion and said, no, we're done. I don't want to be with someone like that. I've learned, or I don't know, something that you're not even on Summer House anymore. You lost a gig out of this.
I think because she's lost so much to then break up, like, because when she breaks up with him, she is going to hear the world go, ha ha!
They already are, though. So just get it over with and move on.
Like, really, take the Band-Aid off.
You know what? Honestly, like, she could actually be brilliant about it, and she could just get on the internet and be like, you guys, let's get the ha-has out. Let's get the I told you so's. Come on.
Told you so. Told you so. Told you so.
Tell me told you so in the comments. Go ahead. This is the one video where you're allowed to do it. And then we're moving on. Do you know how people would really love that? They would turn so quick for her because it's just like, okay, well, how are you going to argue with that? But she's not. She's going to be stubborn. She's going to stay with him until he throws her in a dumpster.
No, she's going to stay with him until he just cheats on her publicly enough where it's embarrassing. It's like The Office. When they didn't fire that guy, they just stopped paying him. That's how her relationship's going to end.
I have a feeling that we will be seeing one of the two pop up on Summer House this upcoming season, though, because I don't think the storyline's completely dead.
I don't either. I think honestly, West may have more of a future than her because West was only on for a few seasons. He's now got the Bravo bad boy image. He's still he has some type of quality and charisma. We got to give him that. That man's got.
He does. And it's not his looks.
But he's that like. I know he's got a few more seasons in him, and somebody's going to get him out.
No, I think right now they probably, obviously, they see my view. I think Summer House was on kind of a decline before this happened.
Oh,
because nobody was really talking about it to this extent. People watched it. It's been on for 10 seasons, but it wasn't this hit show that everyone's like, oh my God, hurry up, Summer House coming on tonight. But the scandal helped, obviously. But in order to not have it backfire, they have to let go of the demons for a little bit. And I feel that West is on a pause, and so is Amanda, but she has In the City. So
Is is anybody watching In the City? Is that coming back? Because I tried to watch it.
I did too.
Lindsay, I didn't like. I just kind of got into Summer House like the first season West was on, or maybe the second, and I didn't really. I wasn't as exposed to Lindsay. Lindsay is awful to me. I like. I just I couldn't stand her because the way she was like questioning that guy whose girlfriend moved, and she's like, "Oh, I can't believe you would move without a commitment, like a ring." And it's like, girl, okay, maybe not everyone is as desperate to get married as you, which is why she hasn't pulled a conceive and leave like you did. Like you did. Like she realizes, oh, maybe before I make this very large, important, and legal decision, I want to get to know and see, do I like living in New York? Do I like living with him in New York? Why would I want him to put a ring on something where, okay, jewelry's nice, but she can clearly buy her own? So why wouldn't I want to see if this shoe really fits before I walk out the store with it?
It's, you know what it is, Lindsay, I've learned that, and there's a ton of people that feel the way you do. I'm indifferent to her because I see her as someone who understands the levity of a show. And when people are on a show and they're not making it happen, I feel like she then has to jump in. Yeah, like I get it. Like the one part where she was talking and the husband was like, or the guy was like, we're not going to dig into that. And she's like, then why are you here? Why are you on the show? And then when you're asked a question, you're like, we're not going to talk about that. Well, then get out of the fucking show.
You know what? Fair. I did not look at it like that. Okay, so it was like, okay. Okay, I'm seeing it a little more clearly
now. She wants the show to work. She's like, no. Don't come in here if you're going to pull the, I'm not talking about. No, you need to talk about it all. I want to hear about the pimple on your nipple. I want to know why your left butt cheek sags the way it does. You are on a reality show. You cannot pull the, I'm not talking about that.
Oh, like when I was at BravoCon and asked Rob Dixon, do you regret telling your business behind a paywall about Juan Dixon, which got you fired from Housewives of Potomac? She said, I'm not going to answer that, and was audibly booed.
Can I just tell you the lengthy DMs Robin and I had during that time, by the way? Because I was the culprit. I fucking ruined her life and had to drag her ass back to Watch What Happens Live and get yelled at for not telling about this situation because I brought the mistress forward and it blew up their whole season. She's another one where her and Juan Dixon have an understanding.
And just be honest about that. Exactly. And also, you bankrupted that man. If he wants to cheat on you for the rest of his life, so be it. So after you ruin millions and millions of my hard-earned basketball dollars, girl, boom. I can't even be mad. I can't be mad. You bankrupted the family. And he told you not to invest that shit with him. He said, don't do it. And you threw all their money. No. Yeah, I'm sorry. Like, please.
Well, this is the thing. And I think we're seeing this with Whitney on Salt Lake City with that situation. When you go into business with your husband, partner, whatever, and shit don't work out financially, that puts a big strain on things. I don't care what anyone says. It's not that you can't work through it, but if you're not aligned with each other to be able to work through it, you will lose the whole picture of what this relationship is, and it'll just be a tit for tat. And that is where I think, Juan didn't want to have anything to do with the show. Robin needed the show because she's like, hey, we need some fucking money. Can't live off of your coaching salary, and you got fired. So, you know, what she should have done, to your point, was come out and be like, yeah, because we have an understanding.
It's exactly it's like I want to see like I do have a little hope for Housewives of New York City, even though that why did they have all that red in the cast picture? It looks like
It's
a
too much.
constituent cast.
It's too
Um,
much.
but I think that that girl that's like, you know, when we have arguments, I get on Raya and he looks for apartments. It's like finally somebody that's honest about look, yes, we're together, but like like these are this ain't the last person I'm gonna sleep with.
No, and also it's every relationship dynamic is so different that I think the point of also being on the show is you are being vulnerable and sharing something about your relationship that may give people a little like, oh, like Haley, she is, I believe, bisexual, and apparently her husband is, I don't know if he's okay with it, but she's sleeping with women and having interactions with them. So there's so many different relationship like stratospheres, and I am so intrigued by all of them. Truly, I may not agree with some
Teddy
of them.
Mellencamp and Kyle. I think they were bumping pocketbooks and losing change. Because
Do you
I
think
remember,
that?
oh my God. Okay, now remember back in 2023, like this moment made page 6 when I asked Kyle, why do you keep thrusting Telly Mellencamp upon us when these women clearly don't like her? It seems like you're trying to make fetch happen, and I just want to know why. And half the cast was like, oh my God, like Sutton did the We Are Not Worthy. Garcelle was like, I'd like to know that too.
I miss Garcelle, by the
And
way.
and Kyle was like, you could see she was like all incensed. Well, I don't know about you, sir. And I was like, oh honey, use the epithet you wanted to call me. I don't care. Let's put it all out there. But because I was like, oh, I know what that sir means, madam. I know what that sir means. But go on. And then later we found out the husband said Telly was cheating with the horse trainer, that she was cheating and like the horse trainer like wife kind of came out and said it was true. Like we found out like, oh, and then he said she was cheating with some other, which was who was the woman that he said she was cheating with? I think it was Kyle. I think he said she was having an affair with Kyle as well in the divorce documents.
Oh, I need to go look those up.
I kept talking about that, and then she got sick, and so everybody left her alone. Because it's like, okay, they're like, I ain't gonna talk about nobody with the illness now, but now she's okay, so we can bring it up again.
Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't think about it that way, but I also just so Kyle being a Capricorn is very interesting because Capricorns are very like Kyle is a true Capricorn through and through. So the sir, that is her being like, she wanted to be like, you fucking little bitch. Let me tell you something. You know what I mean? That's what that meant. But I will say, Kyle has gone through a journey throughout this last 3-4 years. And I think it's been rough to watch because I feel badly for her in the sense of like, I think she kind of regrets doing this.
Like because coming out?
No, I think she regrets having this much access to opportunity to get the financials that they have now, because I think she's looking at it like this put more temptation in Mauricio's face, which I think now I read Kyle's book when she was after her first season on Housewives. She released a book, Not Everything's a Reality Show. She talks very explicitly how she met Kyle, and part of the things that she learned from her mom on being able to secure the man and make sure he values and respects you and comes to you. But he was a bit younger than her at the time. So there was always this like, it almost feels like Kyle regrets letting him get to be so successful because all it did was bring out all those qualities that in the beginning she had to kind of play the game to get him to kind of like not do that, if that makes sense.
I can see that, but also Kyle had a full-on lesbian relationship while that marriage was supposedly, while they were still supposedly together, and then, you know, they finally went on and announced the separation. I feel like they, like, if you have an attraction to women that strongly, no, like Alison Dubois said, he's not going to satisfy you.
Maybe that's what she meant.
It could be because I'm like you don't go from peen to puss that quick. And it was very public. It was very, now that girl's an actress on one of those Yellowstone shows. So she was definitely, I think Kyle feels a little bit used, and that's why she was so sad.
I'm going to be honest with you. I never liked Morgan Wade. I don't like her as a whatever persona she's trying to give us. She takes herself way too seriously. You sing country music, you're a lesbian, like chill out. Like you're not, first of all, for someone who wants nothing to do with the show, it definitely helped your career because nobody knew who you were before Real Housewives of Beverly Hills or Kyle Richards. So it's very odd that she was comfortable to come on that one season, hang out with Kyle, and then the next season, no one's allowed to even say her name.
Yeah.
That's where I had an issue. And I felt like, oh, so this girl is, because she's a girl, you're playing with this woman. You're playing with her emotionally. You're playing with her at a vulnerable spot in her life. She's clearly coming to terms with this new interest that she's embarking on. And you're like, as soon as cameras go up, you don't talk to her. You're like in Tennessee. So,
but also, Kyle, like, you didn't have any other, like, you live in California, in Los Angeles. You should have at least one lesbian friend that could have helped walk you through and be like, no, she's too young. If you want to bump your head, you can bump your head. But I have had friends come out later in life. Like, I've always been out. Everyone always knew.
I came out of the womb. Okay.
Exactly. High five on that.
Yes, absolutely. And I was a C-section baby, so what are those games called?
Platinum.
I haven't touched anything down there. So yes, there's no question. When I came out at like 12, it was like, oh, okay, let's keep moving.
Had to help older like guys that came out like 29, 30, and it's like, okay, yes, these 22 and 23-year-olds are going to be interested in you, but they are going to take you on a ride, and you are too fresh and too new and too green to get on that roller coaster. You need to date this 40-year-old guy for your first year of being out. Then you can go to a circuit party and go home with a 23-year-old and not have your heart crushed, because that's a demon twink. You don't even know how to spot one.
Oh my God, the demon twinks are still out there, you guys. Got to be careful. They're going to come in like the Tasmanian devil, and you're going to be like, I've seen it so many times on both lesbian situations. You look over at the woman and you're like, this is your first time, isn't it? You can just
first
tell.
Time at the rodeo.
Because they're looking around. They're like, wow, there's a lot of lesbians in here. Or you got the other way where you have a demon twink and this man that clearly looks like he's never been in this establishment before. And he probably has a wife he's divorcing, but he's taking a chance with you. And you are spinning through this club, and he is the most confused, out of place he's ever been, but he's going to be taken for a ride, to your point. They always do. And they're going to clear out your account. They're going to rob you in your sleep, and then you're going to be dealing with more mess. And that's what I don't want for Kyle, because it's like she's still trying to get through this situation with Mo and the family dynamic. And then you have this Morgan chick that's just in Tennessee with her strumming her goddamn guitar and like ignoring Kyle while she films her show, and then calls her the minute the reunion's done taping. And it's like, so do you want to go to, it's like.
And also, I don't know how the daughters can say that dad is a hoe, but look at what your mother's doing in the music video. Like, you cannot be mad at your father for moving on when your mother decided to go with a different gender. Because if the shoe was on the other foot and your dad decided to be gay, then nobody would expect Kyle to sit and pine and wait and try to put that marriage back together. So why is it okay for everybody to be like, oh, Mauricio shouldn't still be out there with these younger women? She decided to go with a woman. So Mauricio's going with a woman. They still have so much in common. That's why they're still friends.
I think the issue here for me is that I think the Mo cheating stuff was happening for a very long time. And I feel that Kyle was oblivious to it by her own choice. Because again, Capricorns are not stupid. They know everything. So I'm not saying she didn't know what was going on. She absolutely did. But I think she was so in her own bubble. But I think after she lost her best friend through the unfortunate way that she took her life, that shook her up a lot. You could just tell that really impacted her. And I think it woke her up. I think she looked around, was like, oh no,
For sure.
this is not the way I want to live my life at this stage of the game. Like, and luckily for her, right? She has the finances. She doesn't have to rush through any of her decisions because that is the blessing and the benefit of having the financial freedom to do that. But I also feel like she's holding herself back because in some way I feel like she kind of is hoping that they will come back around. Like I almost feel like she wanted him to go out, have his fun, and then he would get tired, drain that ball sack, and come back home and say, okay, let's get back to what we were doing. And I just don't think he's going to do that.
No, he was, I also think like not every straight man is attracted to lesbians or girl. And I think he may be one
Well,
of
not to Morgan.
Where that's true. I think he could have seen that.
I don't mean that shady. I just meant like, she seems like the one, she's the top. Are there tops in there? Is there a top in lesbian community? Don't come after me. I love you guys. I'm just asking questions. So to me, I'm using gay terms here, but like, she's the top. She's like, right?
The upper lip.
She's the upper lip. I love that. I'm going to use that from now on. But yeah, like I'm like, well, yeah, now you look like you want to have a pissing match with my ex-husband. I don't think he wants to get turned on by that. But if it was like a model and Kyle was running around the streets with like a Giselle Bunch, like, yeah, then it would be different because then Mauricio would probably be over at the house a lot. He'd be like, so how are you guys getting on? Like, you know what I mean? But Morgan looks like she wants to square up with him. I mean, she's short, but like,
that energy.
She looks like she's like, what do you want to do, Mo? You know what I mean? Like, oh no, I'm cool. I'll see you when I see you, Kyle. When your girlfriend stops trying to punch me in the face. But like, she's lost. And I don't mean that in a shady way. I feel like she's rediscovering what her purpose is or who she is at this stage of life with everything around her. But I also feel like she's worked really hard to be notable in a family that was notable. And she always was kind of just right on the curve. You know, she was there, but she really wasn't. And then this show really kind of gave her that. But everything comes with a cost. I believe that. I don't believe you get everything you want. You do have to sacrifice some things. You don't get to have every single piece of it. But unfortunately, that's another situation I don't think was an overnight. She didn't wake up one day. This was something that was happening for a period of time. Mo was always on the road. He was traveling. He's got agencies everywhere. Reddit was having a good time speculating on what he was doing with whom.
I will say, though, if he was cheating, whoever he was doing it with, he kept his hoes in check. We'd have never heard, one heifer never called her and said, I want to come to you as a woman. We never had one heifer take a picture on Instagram. All we have are speculations and rumors. We've never gotten a name, never gotten a photo until there was a formal separation. Never had a name, never had a photo, never caught him out there. So whoever it was respectful cheating.
Oh, it was respectful, and it was very clear that he chose the right mistresses because they played by the handbook. You wait till you're called. You do not call. You don't show up. You don't just pop up on people, and you don't reach out to the wife when you're pissed off because he's not calling you back. Like, and they probably signed NDAs.
Yeah,
because let's be honest. I'm sure this is where I'm on the fence with Kyle. I feel in some way, whether it was verbalized or not, there was an understanding with those two. I think she knew how he is, and she probably just said, don't get caught.
Me.
Do not embarrass me. Do not embarrass your daughters. So if you're going to do it, because you seem like you're going to, then at least respect us.
You know what? He probably went to an agency.
Or that, I was thinking that too, like something where it's really professional, it's black and white, it's business almost, you know? Because you can't trust these hoes out here anymore.
Really? And exactly. But them girls are like, look, I have another client at 6. I ain't got time to be worrying about your life.
Yeah, but same time, same channel next week, Mo. Yeah, like I'll see you next Thursday. But like
The deposit will be ready.
the Rhode Island mistress, for instance, like that's a nightmare.
Oh, now you see, now that is, I'm letting this woman disrespect my wife.
Like, first of all, this woman wanted to be on the show. I don't care what anyone said.
Yes.
She was going to pop up on them scenes, and that's why Rula is doing the spinning and the deflect, because she knows this woman clearly has been lied to, this mistress, and she's not a good one because she's willing to, she had no problems reaching out to me and a couple of others when this show started to air. So it's like, oh, you wanted to be on the show.
Oh my God, the mistress reached out to you?
Yes, she said, because I recapped an episode where I was basically discussing the Rula and Brian of it all, and she DM'd me and she was like, I just want to clarify, there's a lot more. She gave a lot of information without giving any detail. So it was kind of like, okay, so do you want to, because I said, do you want to come on and talk about it so I can ask you questions so you can get your side of the story out? And she was hesitant on doing so. And I think that's because there's an NDA.
Oh.
She claims there's not, because that's why she reached out. She said there is no NDA because Rula kept saying that. But I do think there is. Something is in writing. Otherwise, you're taking it this far and not giving us any additional information. That's weird.
I think so too. I think that, yeah, because he said there was an NDA.
Mm-hmm. But she said there's not.
Yeah, no,
but
you're right. There probably is one.
I don't see if this is why it makes sense that Rula knew the entire time, because I think they had a discussion and she said, fine, you want to have that bitch on the side, then she's going to have to sign something. Because I can't be out here looking stupid at PTA conferences because you're out here with Beth. And I'm not doxing her, guys. It's in her username. She's an esthetician. So
with Salt Lake City this season, it's going to be like they're on their way to Potomac, where we're not going to have any husbands. Because the Bronwyn came on to get divorced. That was pretty much obvious.
That was the whole strategy for her.
That was fine. Like, we could see why you wanted to get away from, the school principal. Like, I don't know how you crawled up on. I was gonna say you did it to take care of your daughter. I could appreciate that.
Hey, listen, I would do the same.
Exactly, for real. I just, I believe that marriage until death do us part. So I would have been like, please cheat in peace, so I ain't got to look at you.
Yeah, listen, old man, don't be on Twitter looking at girls' tits on an airplane.
Yeah,
go in the bathroom. Don't embarrass me. Yeah, that's what I think is the problem. But also, this is a great opportunity, possibly, for Whitney and Bronwyn to finally get together. I think they would be a fabulous couple.
I wanted to see Zach and Bryce together on Love Island. I would like to see those two together.
Were they not together? Seemed like they were pretty together.
I mean, they were in the bed often. They were in the bed with each other as much as they were in the bed with the other women.
He was in the bed with him more than I'm in the bed with my partner. So something happened. I don't care what anyone says.
They just won't release that footage.
You know what I really wish, though? I really wish men specifically that are on these shows that are maybe bi or whatever. I wish you would just own it.
Yes.
The stories are appreciated. The awareness is obviously needed, because I do think specifically in the not that men are victims in any kind of way, because they're not. It's just this is not Housewives topic, but just a little discourse that's happening on TikTok is there's a conversation happening right now where straight women are saying they do not want to date bisexual men because in their minds, they view that the same as being with a gay man. Now, the discourse is that that's homophobic. I don't think it's homophobic. Personally, I think it's a preference, but I also think it's the way we were conditioned to look at both sexes, right?
Yes.
So in my mind, and I can empathize with this from a woman's standpoint, when they look at a man, we're going in a different direction now, but I could see that shattering the image of what they view as this masculine man that's going to ravage them, but then turn around and go ravage me, let's say. It's like, oh,
I
don't think I like that.
Like, I used to not want to date a bisexual man. And then I realized, oh, pretty much everybody is bisexual. I can't, like, let me stop worrying about it and just be in a relationship with somebody that cares about me.
But it's not to say, I think the issue is bisexual people are still able to be monogamous. I think that's the problem, is that there's this stereotype that, oh, now I got to watch out for the men and the girls. That's too much. It's like, yes, I can see that.
If they want you, they want you.
Yeah. So like that to me is that's the same as someone saying, I am divorced and have a child. Okay, you have some baggage. Okay, you've had some dicks in your mouth, but you want this kitty cat. So we're going to focus on that. Yeah. And if you really want my kitty cat, you're going to show me you want that. And I'm not going to have any questions. Do you know what I mean? Like if you went down there and you're just kind of like, I'm like, all right, we're good. You clearly are not that bi, but it is what it is. And if they're not bi, they're like polyamorous or a polygamist or a sister wife or a sister husband or a polycube, whatever those are called. Like there's now these groups of 5 that commingle and shit.
Yeah, because then they're, well, honestly, with the price of housing these days,
I get it.
Look, get it where you live.
That's why I always, when we lived in New York, I said, it doesn't matter what happens with this man while I'm living here, we're not breaking up because rent's too fucking expensive. And most New Yorkers that are in relationships, I feel, are still in relationships because of the rent. It's too expensive out here. So I get it. But like
an apartment bride, like Carrie Bradshaw said.
Yeah, exactly that. Anyways, we went off topic with that, but like I don't know. How did we get to the bisexual? Oh, because Bronwyn and Whitney.
Yeah, Bronwyn and Whitney.
So did you
going to be a season where, well, actually, because they've already filmed and then they announced it, at least we won't have to see Lisa and Meredith really walk around with their noses in the air trying to stifle laughter because of the projection and because, you know, it's definitely like, well, now you can't come. You wanted to come for my marriage and talk about the rumors and the nastiness when you were the ones who were really having issues behind closed doors. I'm going to disengage. But also, like I think Seth is interesting. I think Meredith can be interesting. How did they get? Well, wait, it's too interesting. Is getting together, cancel it out like a Punnett square. I just forgot. And that's how they ended up with Brooks. Oh. Because Brooks is like the definition of a mediocre gay white man. You're not that cute and you are boring as all hell.
I want him to just raise the pit. I'm so like, I have so much sass naturally. So like, I just, after watching a clip of him where this kid is talking shit about his dad to his face and him not having any sort of reaction, is still the same monotone. Like, wow, that was taking it too far. I want to plug him in. Maybe he's not recharged. Maybe he's not charged fully. Like it feels like he's at like a 50% all the time. And I don't know if he's on something
broken Android phone before they got good.
Like the Google One phone, the very first one. No, for sure. It's like I don't know. I mean, like I can't tell if that's really how he is. Like maybe he's more extroverted when there's not cameras. But he's very much Meredith's son. And they both have the same type of like, wow. You know, I love Meredith, but she's getting off. They're going to get off easy this season. I
They
know they are like calling each other like, yes, we don't have to work hard this season for once.
Oh, thank you, Tina 1 million. I don't even watch this show, but I'm watching y'all today. The two new terms I have heard had me dying.
Oh my
Demon
gosh.
twink and the upper lip. I just came up with the upper lip because I never know like who it like I never thought who was the top or the bottom in their, because there's always like a more dominant and a more submissive one in every relationship.
I mean, I'm just going off the music video, guys. She was the one that was like pumping iron and like hosing,
She was the one with the carabiners.
Yes. Which, by the way, the music video was, for me, that was her coming out like story.
Yes.
In little or no words, it was very much that. But yes, back to Salt Lake City. This season, I have a feeling, because I read there was a report in The Sun the same day that came out to announce Angie and Sean's
separation.
Correct. And so when I read The Sun, they had mentioned that the separation happened 3-4 months ago, which would then mean this plays out on the season, even if it's towards the end. And the reason why I think they're going to lead with the article first, they confirmed it via Page 6, but they have both not made a statement yet. I have an inkling that we're going to get a trailer next week, and then we're going to get their official separation statement, because I think they're trying to preserve a lot of this for this. Yeah, and that's why I think Whitney's little article came out, because I think that's going to be the kind of the crux of, and obviously what Mary unfortunately had to go through. Yeah. And that's going to be hard to watch because that's so raw. She literally 3 weeks after went, because she took a little break, thankfully, that like she didn't have to do that, but like that's still really early, like soon, I mean, to jump into work.
I pray for her, because I cannot imagine. I really do feel bad. I hope that they are able to treat it with respect and bring awareness, because I know some of the people that are watching are going through it too. So I feel like this can be one of their like real moments and like really bring the women together. Which I'm sure it like also I feel like there was a part of me that wanted to be like, Mary, you shouldn't be on the show, but I'm also like, well, should she just sit home and be sad? Maybe this is good. Let her focus on their foolishness.
It's a better distraction sometimes, quite honestly. I mean, I can't speak for her. Obviously, this is a different situation. She's lost her child. That's I can't even fathom it. So the fact that she's getting up and moving and grooving is a miracle. Because if it were me, you would never hear from me again. I can tell you that. That I don't think I could just get up and roll with it the way she is. And she's strong. She's very strong.
Crystal said, I'd also like to add dirty nails with polish painted over them to the list.
Don't forget it, Crystal. Now she's going to be looking at people's fingernails. I'm telling you.
And Carolina Comfort said, Mary is grieving, but she still don't want to be home with that man. Her step-grandfather. She married her step-grandfather. Now, we call that grooming. I thought that's what we were calling it. Isn't that what it is?
Yeah, but isn't that what the church likes to do? Not all of them.
I didn't go to church, so I wouldn't know.
I feel for Mary, because I feel that she had to be someone that she didn't necessarily maybe want to be, or even came to the conclusion, hey, I do want to be the head of this church. It was almost like she was kind of the sitting duck, and they were kind of, like you said, grooming her to be that next. But I don't know if that's what I believe in my heart that she believes everything that she speaks on in her church. I can say that. And I know a lot of friends that are Pentecostal. And so when the whole documentary came out about her church and stuff, I did look at it very critically, because I'm like, well, have you never been to a Pentecostal church before? Because if you've never been to a Pentecostal church, then you would walk out of that and be like, what the hell was that? But that doesn't mean that that's necessarily what's going on. What I'm more concerned about is what's happening at the top with Granddaddy. What are you doing? Because if Mary had a daughter, does that mean if God forbid something happened, does that mean that the daughter then is this like a royalty thing? Are we treating this like a because that
It's very Lannister-esque.
Yeah, it's just it never sat right with me. And as much as I get they're not related, it's related.
Yeah, it's like you were there for me as a child where that should be sacrosanct. That should be like I don't have those feelings, would not want to develop those feelings for someone that like it should still be, incestuous. But speaking of incestuous, Teresa, Melissa, and Joe.
Mm.
I think Teresa hates Melissa because her and Joe hunched when they were in high school or maybe like eighth or ninth grade, right when they started like developing. And Teresa has always like been in love with him and been mad and was angry that he went on and married Melissa. That's what it gives me. It gives me a Lannister tea, Jamie and Cersei. That's what it gives.
So are you saying that Teresa has a codependency with her brother in the way that's almost like she's jealous of
Yes.
Melissa in a way that you would be
Yes.
jealous of like another woman who's giving
Absolutely.
your man attention? I could see that. I could see that a little bit. And if I'm being honest, there is a little bit of that in a lot of the dynamics when you look at like a heavy Italian culture or heavy European culture. There's always this like closeness where people feel very territorial, and it's not healthy, obviously. But I am interested to see what they do with New Jersey. They did film their finale last night.
Oh,
So looks
you
like
got all the tea.
oh yes, honey. They filmed the finale last night, and we should be getting the new season somewhere right before the end of 2026, is what I heard. So because I'm obviously thinking because they had originally said 2027, and I was like, bitch, that's too long. So it seems like they're trying to fast track it because I know we're gonna have Orange County just started, then we're gonna have Salt Lake City, and then New York. So they're probably not going to throw it out there around that same time.
Oh my God. What do you think about it's going to be old New York versus the new New York? I'm like, look, I have time to watch it all. Like, I'm glad E is throwing its hat in the ring because, like, Hulu doing Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, it's cute, but you need to release it episodically. Nobody can sit and binge that many, like, it ruins it. It's like, if you want to get that build up, you got to do it week to week. But I know E's going to do that, and I know E is like, we are coming for your Burger King crown, bravo. And like you said, you're not that impressed with Carol Radziwill. I'm glad to see the cast is activated, but y'all are on a back foot. And we have been waiting for the original New York Girls or something to that equivalent for a while. And I really do wonder who will win.
You know, it's interesting because I feel like they're going to be two different shows, but I do think that E is really going to probably start doing more of this because I can tell by just the way that they went and grabbed Candace Bushnell and Margaret Josephs and ordered more episodes. They were like, oh, those bitches got fired. Come here. Come on. Come to Florida. You know what I mean? So it's like, yes, I absolutely am going to watch both. They're going to be very different.
Okay.
I think Carol is their way of trying to bring some of that OG in. But again, I don't dislike Carol, but I'm like, okay, nobody else.
She doesn't have she's not like a Sonia. Sonia could have brought it. Sonia would have brought the drunkenness, would have brought the nostalgia. Like Sonia is an OG. Carol is like, she's not quote unquote an OG. And she also she's always had an air of like, I'm kind of too good for this, but I'm doing it.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing that I didn't really get about her. It's like, you can't come on this type of format and act like that because you look dumb. Like, yeah, if you want to be boastful about your accomplishments, you should absolutely do that. I want to see housewives be like absolutely insane. but you're talking as if like you're being made to be here. And
Oh my God.
I cannot
Carol
stand
gave the
that.
same Carol gave the same vibe like Jenna Lyon. And it's like, yeah, we respect you. We want to hear about your career, but you came on the show and gave nothing, and we're always like, really? Like, what are you here for? You've seen this show, like you know the product you're participating in, and you're like on the board of like you've been a CEO, so we know you know what is going on. You are not a stupid being.
No. And she probably was like, okay, I'll try it as a friend of, and then see like, do I even want this? And then she probably was like, oh, I can do this. These girls aren't going to probably come after me the way that the other women would have. So it's like a clean slate for Carol in a way, but she's Jenna Lyons.
Yeah, and we
I
saw how
didn't
that worked.
I didn't get the Jenna Lyons thing because every episode she just seemed like, I don't know, you guys. I don't know. And it's like, well, if you don't know, bitch, get out. Why are you
Gotta
here
go.
2 seasons in a row? Because I signed a 2-year contract. Okay, great. But she left and she knew that this wasn't for her. She knew it wasn't for her when she joined. She made it
Yeah.
very clear. And she was uncomfortable with the fan base. Very much like, Liz was at the finale for New Jersey, by the way, from Rhode Island. She was at the finale party.
Oh.
I am very much sad that she is not coming back.
I would love to see another housewife get raided and arrested by the feds on the show. Like I just feel like when your best friend, the man that you said is your best friend is now on trial, like he's going to trial, like that's not, that's out there. That is a fact. That is a legal fact. Like the court date is set. When that's your best friend and there are affidavits talking about how many phone calls there were between you, and there were hundreds, and then your husband just happened to have a boat to be in the international waters off the coast of Florida where boats tend to find things like, and he was fishing. I'm like, that man, it seems like he could possibly, I'm not saying it's true, he might have been fishing for a square grouper.
Oh. Well, here's my theory. I think, because Liz said it was the fans and the viewers that scared her. I like Liz. I've engaged with her. She's lovely, and I do like her. I think there's something there. However, Dolly, I think she was advised by her legal team, hey, maybe let's wait for this to kind of see where that goes before we have cameras up. Because I can tell you what was going to happen. If she came back next season, she would have been on the hot seat about Dino and the boat and the this and the that and the phone calls, and Joellen would have gotten all of her cell phone records from Verizon.
Joellen would have ended up being on trial, having to hire a lawyer her damn self because she getting in everybody's business. Joellen takes it too far and plays a dangerous game.
But the viewers loved it, because when I called it out, I was like, wow, you threw your mom under the bus for a storyline? Did you even tell your mom you had a problem with her before the show? Because she's like, for me, it's like, if you're going to share that, absolutely tell your story. But this is my opinion, the respectful thing to do, if you want to continue a relationship with your mom, give her a heads up. Be like, hey, I'm going to share my story. And I'm going to say this, this, and this. Okay? So don't be caught off guard. She'll still be upset when she sees it, but she's not going to be caught off guard. You caught that woman off guard, and now she's not speaking to you. So my thing was like, maybe you didn't really want to have a relationship with her. And I'm starting to feel like Joellen's one of those people that everyone's disposable to her.
I think Joellen wanted to get her lick back for the abuse.
Yeah.
And she was like, I'm pretty sure she's like, you mad? You mad? Well, so was I. So was I.
But you know who did that, but did it in a way that was, in my opinion, better? Paris. She filmed 2 seasons of her show, so she in a documentary, so she could tell her mom every day of filming, "Look what you did to me. You have to deal with the consequences of how this looks." Her mom was in the know, though. So, like, in my mind, that's why I'm like, oh, Joellen, yes, you absolutely, I can get why you wanted to get a lick back. And you could have still gotten your lick back, by the way, but you still could have given your mom the heads up.
Did Kathy take responsibility?
She did.
Oh, that's different.
And
Kathy. That
she
means
was
they went to therapy.
uncomfortable. She was uncomfortable because obviously she felt immense guilt years later, understanding what was really going on. And listen, I'm not here to judge any parent because I know growing up, those schools were mentioned all the time as threats that if you weren't behaving, like when I went to private school, they brought those types of schools up. Oh, you don't make it in here, you're going to be sent there next. Like it was like, so I can understand from a parent's point of view, you have this child running the streets and you don't want that, but they're not listening. So what do you do? And so you have these facilities that are quote unquote there to help you, like in Joellen's case, right? I'm sure her mom had the best intention. I don't believe it was malicious.
I don't think that mama had the best intention.
Do you? That's where I'm kind of hung up. I'm like, obviously I don't know her mom enough, but like, do you think that perhaps it was done in a way because she didn't like her daughter?
That is exactly it. She has the favorite child and the disposable child. And maybe that's why everyone's disposable to Joellen, because that's how she was raised, as someone that was disposable. And that's very hard to unlearn.
That's such a great point, though, what you just said about that's all she knows. Joellen's used to being disposed of. So why then would she not do that in her world as an adult? I guess my pivot or question around the situation was, if your mom was so terrible, why do you want your kids around her? Because I wouldn't want my mom, if my mom treated me that way and I felt that strongly, the last thing I would do is expect my mom and my children to have a close relationship because I wouldn't trust her.
Could be because the mom is good too, but the sister doesn't have kids though.
She's not married either.
Mm-mm.
So it's interesting to me because on one hand, you said that she was this way and she's still not taking responsibility. But on the other hand, you're sad because you're not speaking and she's seeing your kids against you or whatever that. But it's like, well, then why do you care about that?
Because you shouldn't want her to be around them, especially like you weren't her favorite, so your kids ain't gonna be her favorite.
No, but it's almost like Joellen wants all of it. She wants to be able to have all the aspects of that type of relationship, but she isn't willing to truly do the work. And I'm not saying she's not. Perhaps her mom is really just that stubborn and doesn't want to look at that. And listen, it's hard when you try to talk to your parents about this stuff because they're very defensive, right? They've done, in their mind, they're like, I did the best that I could. And it's like, that's where I'm kind of in the middle with her mom. Like, I'm not saying her mom didn't do anything wrong, but I also am like, I would love to hear more from the mom, I guess is what I'm saying.
I feel like the mom gives me Muzzy vibes.
A lot of people said that she
like,
reminded them of Muzzy.
There's a level where you shouldn't have had children. You just aren't emotionally capable, and you've done a lot of damage that you now are not, unlike Kathy Hilton, ready to take responsibility for, ready to be like, I'm going to have to be uncomfortable because I made you uncomfortable. And that's the only way we're going to get to the other side of this, is if we sit and I admit and I listen and I truly express the hurt that I now feel because of what I've done to you. And when you don't have that level of growth and self-awareness, it's a sick cycle that just keeps going.
Yeah, and it's a stubbornness, really, at the end of the day, because it means that the mom doesn't want to take a look at the fact that she may have made some mistakes, because then that means that she was wrong. And I think there's an ego death that needs to occur in those situations. Otherwise, to your point, it's not going to move forward.
My goodness. It has been 2 fabulous hours, and I know we could keep going for another
Oh,
one. I cannot take
I was
up
just
all of
looking
your
at the clock.
day.
No, you're fine. I would sit here for the rest of the evening talking about this. I live and breathe it. Are you kidding? But I'm reading the chat. I'm just like, everyone's like really like in it. I'm loving it. I haven't done a live stream in so long.
Oh my, we're gonna have to do this again.
Oh, we are absolutely. Listen, I'm canceling therapy from now on. We're just gonna have to get on here and work it out. Work it out.
So tell everybody where they can find you.
Sure. I'm at Georgio Says on all the platforms. Super easy. I do have a podcast. It's in the middle of being re-fluffed and whatnot, so that'll come back probably next week. So you'll definitely have to be on that.
I would love to.
Actually, I think we need to do this weekly. Like, I need to come on here once a week. You need to come on mine once a week, and we just need to shoot the shit, because I have gained so much more clarity on all of my hypotheses, being able to talk things out loud with you. So I really appreciate that.
Oh my God, thank you.
No, of course.
Insane.
No, I always forget the point of this sometimes is to collaborate, and I'm so in my bubble a lot, and I'm sure you feel the same way. And sometimes it's nice to engage on these things and have banter and have the chat chiming in the way that, I mean, your chat's been fantastic. It's been like amazing. So I absolutely appreciate this. I'm so glad you asked me to come on. So we will absolutely make this a thing.
Did.
Yes.
I didn't know it was going to be this good.
Oh.
I knew it was going to be good. I didn't know we was going to have this much fun.
I feel like some bricks have been lifted off my shoulders, and none of this shit has anything to do with me, but I still feel lighter. So thank you. But yes, you will have to come on and listen. There's going to be so much more that's coming down the pipeline, I fear, with everything that's out now. So, there's going to always be something to talk about, but this has been truly fun. So I'm so excited that I did this.
And it's countdown till BravoCon 2027.
Oh my God, start saving now, guys.
Oh.
Take that mortgage out.
I will say, I will be honest. Me and my podcast co-host Chris, we go and we just do a GoFundMe. We just do a plain old GoFundMe, because there's this was the first year that they've actually had influencers there, but everybody had to have all the people there had insane numbers that were invited, and I got my 70,000 subscribers. I ain't there yet, but they that's the only way I have gone. That is
hold on. That's not. I want to correct something right now with what you just said. You just minimized yourself, sir. You were in the same league. How many subscribers?
70,000.
70?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So I have 7, comma. So you are absolutely in the same realm. I also was not picked for that America's Next Top Model lineup, and that is okay. It is okay. Here's the thing. I'm not going to suck asshole I can do that on my own, and I have, and you're doing it on your own. Not to shit on Bravo, but I don't scale yourself against that.
You're right.
Go watch their content. Just go skim it.
Ooh. Oh my.
Listen, I've been on one. Mercury retrograde is ending today. You guys, thank you for your patience. It has been a time. So I've had it with, you know what it is, and then I'll stop talking, is I'm sick of everyone's fake hypocrisy of, I'm mad about this, but I don't care about this, and I should be mad about this, but it's okay because I like this person, so I'll let this person slide, but then I'm going to be outraged over here. I've just seen so much of that in the last couple of months that I've had it. So again, to circle back, it's refreshing to speak to people like yourself and the people in the chat that are just here to have a good time and talk about what we enjoy talking about. So,
I mean, that's the point of the shows. All right. Well, thank you so much. Thank everybody for watching, and we will see y'all soon.
Thank you.